The following is a paid presentation by Siniard Law Injury Attorneys, paid for by Siniard Law Injury Attorneys. The Siniard Law Show, answering your legal questions, featuring attorneys Tommy Siniard, Bart Siniard, and your host, Aaron Dacey. This is the Siniard Law Show.
Hello and welcome to the Siniard Law Show. Tonight, our legal topic is juvenile law. You can call us at 844-7000-LAW to leave us a voicemail with your question, or you can email us at questions@siniardlaw.com. Siniard Law is a father-son personal injury firm right here in the Tennessee Valley. They're focused on giving back to the community through legal education. Siniard Law is accredited by the Better Business Bureau, has been recognized 4 consecutive years by best law firms in America, and they've got almost 300 5-star Google reviews. Now to our topic of the night, juvenile law. Bart Siniard is joined by our guest attorney, Kimberly Rucker, and answering questions on this area of the law.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're getting to do this. It's timely because we got school starting back for all of North Alabama very soon. Got Kimberly Rucker here with us tonight. Kimberly's an excellent attorney. I've been practicing in Huntsville for 18 years.
That's right.
She does a lot of juvenile law related type stuff, serving as a guardian ad litem, and we'll get into that in a second. She also does federal employment discrimination. So if somebody's been demoted or terminated because of race, gender, things like that, she handles that as well. Really knowledgeable attorney, and glad to have her on tonight as we tackle this topic of juvenile law.
It's going to be really interesting. Looking forward to this. Now, if you have questions, legal questions, just email us at questions@siniardlaw.com or call us at 844-7000-LAW, and your question may be featured on the Siniard Law Show. Now to our legal tip of the week, the role of guardian ad litems. And Bart, you mentioned that just a moment ago. So what is the role of that when it comes to juvenile law?
So, and she's the real expert on this, but in what I do in personal injury, when there is a settlement for a child, that's anybody under the age of 19 in Alabama, the court has to approve the settlement and make sure that the settlement is in the best interests of the child. And as part of that court approval process, usually the judge appoints a guardian ad litem. And in very short, a guardian ad litem's job is it's an attorney who looks into all the facts, circumstances, the evidence relevant to the case, and makes a determination or gives an opinion at least to the judge. This is what should happen with this settlement money, or this settlement is great, or this settlement's not good. It's really somebody who acts to just focus on the child. And Kimberly does a great job being a guardian ad litem, and in a lot of different contexts. All I do is personal injury. There's a whole lot of areas of the law where guardian ad litems get involved.
That's right.
Walk us through that, Kimberly.
So just as you said, a guardian ad litem can get involved in a case where a child is going to be awarded money. And as you mentioned, the intention there is always, in every aspect of the work of a guardian ad litem, it is to advocate for the best interests of the child at issue or children at issue. So we also get guardian ad litem work in the area of juvenile dependency. So when a child, there's a question about whether or not the guardian, be it a parent or some other guardian who's been given custody over a child, whether they are actually willing and fit to perform those duties or not. When there's a question that arises, a guardian ad litem is going to be appointed to that child so that that person is focused solely on what is in the best interest of this child and how do we best advocate for them. In juvenile delinquency cases, we don't typically see guardian ad litems appointed, but it could be, because at the end of the day, the question is what's best for the child. And so if a court determines that there's some extenuating circumstance that requires the work in the eyesight of a guardian ad litem, they can appoint one.
Kimberly gets involved in some of the toughest legal situations where you have children who might be being neglected or abused, and she fits that role in the legal system to make sure that the courts are doing everything we can to make sure that child's future is as best as possible going forward. So thank you for that. Glad to have you here. Look forward to trying to answer some viewer questions.
Yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to those viewer questions. And our first one tonight comes from Kayla. She says, my cousin has 2 kids, both under the age of 10. She has developed a bad drug addiction, and I can tell she isn't taking care of the kids. She leaves them at home alone, and sometimes I'm worried something bad is going to happen. I've tried to talk with her about this, but she gets mad and shuts down. She refuses to get help for her addiction too. What are my legal options to help fix this situation?
So, this is her cousin who has 2 kids. What can she do, if anything, about this if she wants to try to help those kids out?
So Kayla, just like any other person, if I came in contact with these children, if you came in contact with these children, any of us could make a report to raise the red flag about their care. So if there's suspicion of neglect or abuse, anybody can raise that issue with DHR or law enforcement. Okay. And I think we all have that responsibility to kids. So Kayla can make an oral report to DHR. She can make a telephone call or go to DHR and make a report to DHR or law enforcement. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it becomes DHR's duty to investigate the allegation. It's not an understood, it's not accepted as being true just because a report is made. Mm-hmm. And so I always encourage people to, we want to put the interests and needs of children first. We don't weaponize reports to DHR. Mm-hmm. So if the report gets made, then DHR will undertake its duty to investigate the allegation. They may come into the home, they're going to want to see the children, they may interview the children, interview parents, in the case a mother, to determine whether or not there's anything substantial there. And if they substantiate the claim, or what we call indicated, if it's indicated for neglect or abuse, then DHR has the next step to take, which is how to protect these children in this situation. And that can be anything from a temporary plan that removes the children from the home. DHR can go to the court and petition for the ability to remove those children from the home. And then a lot of times that's when I get involved as guardian ad litem. I get appointed to represent the child or children in that situation. And we're trying to work a plan to help mom get rehabilitated if possible. And in the meantime, Kayla can make herself available as a relative resource for their placement.
Yeah.
And now that means Kayla's going to have to qualify for their placement. And I would be looking at that as well as DHR. And if mom does not rehabilitate timely, then Kayla has the option of possibly being a kinship guardian. And that means that permanency would be achieved by placing the children with Kayla or with another relative. And we like to take that route first just to try to keep children out of foster care and connected to family.
Would Kayla, like say she wanted to try to get custody, would she necessarily need a lawyer to go about that process? Maybe.
So, since she's not a parent, she doesn't automatically get an attorney appointed to her.
Right.
Parents would get an attorney appointed to them if they couldn't afford an attorney.
Okay.
If Kayla wanted to get an attorney, she could. But in a lot of these cases, I see that relatives don't really need attorneys. DHR is handling their part of the duty. The guardian ad litem is handling their part of the duty for the child. There will be attorneys involved for the parent or parents. And so we don't see a lot of guardians or family members who get counsel, maybe in a very contentious situation, but not a lot.
Gotcha.
Okay, our next email comes from Jay. He says, my child was taken from me by DHR years ago while I was in jail. I was released a few months ago and I'm trying to get my life back together. I've got a job and almost have enough money to buy a car, but I don't have money to afford a lawyer. How would I go about trying to get custody of my daughter back?
So this is a good one. It happens a lot. Okay. And I'll say that when I have a case where a parent is incarcerated and DHR places custody of the child with someone other than the other parent, and even if it is the other parent, if I represent parent who's in jail, I'm going to ask the court in that final order to give instruction on what my incarcerated parent needs to do in order to reestablish connection with the child. If that means they have to go petition the court to establish visits or to modify custody, I'm going to ask the court to put that in the order. But that is the path. So once you're out of jail, then you're going to need to petition and say, hey, I'm now available to parent. I know custody's been vested somewhere else, but I now want to be involved in this child's life. And then it is up to the court, and there may be some DHR involvement again, to determine whether or not you're actually stable enough to re-enter parenting the child or relationship with the child. And if you are looking to actually modify custody and custody has been established somewhere else, then that's a high hurdle to jump, because we are now looking at what's in the best interest of the child plus, not just best interest, but also is making this change going to serve the greater good for the child, or is the harm to be done does that outweigh the good to be done in making the change?
Once custody's been changed legally, it's hard to get
it back.
Modified.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
This is so interesting. We appreciate you both. When the Siniard Law Show returns, Bart will sit down with Huntsville City Schools Superintendent Dr. Clarence Sutton in this week's Community Spotlight interview.
Harrison Brothers brings together the best of North Alabama. Our curated selection of local art, fine crafts, and gourmet food are great gifts for everyone on your shopping list. We carry books by local authors, and our toys pique a child's imagination. At Harrison Brothers, your purchases support artists and artisans right here in the Tennessee Valley. Located on Huntsville's Courthouse Square since 1897, Harrison Brothers is more than a store. It's a tradition.
Did you know you can watch 48 News live on your TV whenever you want? Totally free, no subscriptions. Just search WAFF 48 on your Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV. Get live, local news, first alert weather, and sports anytime you want it. Install and stream 48 Plus today. It's easy to watch, easy to install, and it's free. This is 48 Plus. It's your news on your schedule. Search WAFF 48 and start streaming today.
North Alabama's best attraction is not its mountains, or its rivers, or even its rockets. It's our people, honest, hardworking people who make us proud to do what we do. When people in our communities are injured in an accident,
we help them find insurance companies based in big cities far from here.
We are honored to help people get the compensation they deserve.
Siniard Law, nationally recognized, locally trusted.
Dr. Clarence Sutton is joining us today to talk about school starting back. Hard to believe. Bart?
Thank you, Erin. I'm here tonight with Dr. Clarence Sutton, the superintendent of the Huntsville City Schools. We're about to start back up with the school year, so I thought it'd be a perfect moment to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being on here tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Dr. Sutton, for people who don't know you, give us a little background. Where did you come from? Where did you go to school? How did you make it to Huntsville City Schools?
Well, I'm very excited to start my 33rd year in education. I've worked in Tuscaloosa City Schools as a teacher, coach, did assistant principal and a principal for 26 years. And in 2020, moved up here as chief academic officer and just progressed to go into my 4th year as superintendent.
Yeah, you became superintendent, the summer of 2023, right?
The summer of 2023.
So you're about to start your 4th year.
Yes.
I want to go back, before you even came to Huntsville, tell us what made you get interested in a career in education?
Well, I wouldn't say interested first. My parents were educators and really worked in it. They loved it. But sometimes when you see your parents, you don't want to be your parents. So I wanted to do something else. However, just morphed right back into education and then fell in love with it.
What is the biggest challenges you've seen in your time as the superintendent of Huntsville City Schools? What makes the job hard at times?
It's a very rewarding job, but there are some challenges. Number one, just the number of offerings we have in Huntsville.
Yeah.
And trying to balance that with the trends. And we have so many resources, so many opportunities, and I really want to maximize this for our students. So I would say one of the challenges is how do we inform the public, inform our students of all the opportunities we have here. And we're so spread out and we're growing, and what we're trying to do is stay up ahead of the curve and not be so reactionary.
Right.
So I would say just research, communicating, and just really keeping our hands on the pulse of education.
What is the thing you're maybe proudest of that you and your team have been able to accomplish since you started with Huntsville City Schools?
Well, we have a lot to be proud of. I hope I can give you at least 3.
Yeah, give me 3. I won't limit you to
Number one, last year we had our highest report card grade ever.
Yeah.
This year we're projected to be even ahead of that. So very proud of that. Proud of our teachers and staff. Right now we only have 15 openings. For a district our size, we have 24,000 students.
Wow.
If you compare us to the other districts, we're way ahead of that curve.
Are you saying there's only like 15 openings?
Openings district-wide.
Wow.
And really, so I'm here recruiting also. But with that, that's the culture that we're having. We're about students. We're about supporting our teachers. So we're very excited of that. And of course, I hope people see all the buildings, projects going on with our capital plan. We're in the middle of our capital plan, it's $600 million plus. And we're so excited. So those 3 things are keeping us motivated, but mainly it's about our students.
Huntsville's growing so fast. I've seen different stats, but we got lots of people moving here literally every day. What are the challenges you face as the head of the school system meeting that expanding population? Because people are moving here, all these businesses are opening up, but that brings kids that need education. What is the challenges y'all facing that growing population?
Well, the wonderful thing about Huntsville and Madison County is the number of opportunities, the choice that people can have, from private schools to my sister districts, Madison City and Madison County and Huntsville City. We want to be the district of choice. So the challenge is, number one, let's have programs that people would choose us as their vehicle for education. Number 2, we have to communicate. So we meet with the city, we meet with employers. What's the growth pattern? Where do we need to build? What do we need to prepare? Because we want to be ready for anything. We don't want to be the reason our city can't expand because of us.
Gotcha.
And so we communicate a lot, we study a lot, we have our own team to do studies, but we really want to emphasize we're the district of choice. From magnet programs to CTE to every program in every high school, that's who we are, and we're very proud of that.
I think y'all are doing a fantastic job of that. As a parent of kids who are in the Huntsville City public school system, I appreciate it. But I did want to ask you this. I've had several friends ask me to ask you this too. Why do we have to start school the first week of August? It's still summer. It's
still
really
summer.
hot. What are we doing?
And 100 degrees next week.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 things, and it's really us trying to be a district of choice. People fell in love with fall break.
Sure.
So to start later, we have to give up fall break.
Don't take away my fall break.
Don't take away fall break,
Okay.
especially for teachers.
Yeah.
And then we want to finish before Memorial Day.
Right.
So you have to look at our calendar. We always have graduation the week before Memorial Day. Students have to return. So to start later, we have to push back the ending date.
So there's rules about how many days our kids have to go to school. Is that what you're saying?
Our students have to attend 180 days.
I gotcha. Yeah.
When teachers received a raise a while ago, they moved their schedule to 187 days. So our teachers are returning this week, and they work 5 days before the students return.
Gotcha.
And then they mix in some teacher work days throughout the year. So it's all those things, trying to get a summer in, and then we move it up, gonna keep our fall break. And so that's why we're starting.
Yeah, and nobody wants to go to school after Memorial Day.
No, you gotta have your summer.
I guess we'll just keep starting the first week.
I hope so.
Okay. All right. Well, Dr. Sutton, I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for
so
having
much.
me. And thank you for always supporting the Huntsville City Schools.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Aaron, back to you.
When the Siniard Law Show returns, we'll get to more of your legal questions, and we'll tell you how you can sign up for the Siniard Law Firm's free monthly newsletter.
If it's changing now,
you'll see it here on 48 News.
always live with breaking news.
Potentially severe storms starting at...
Always alerting you first to changing weather.
Always updating you on your morning commute.
Always here with the updates you need to start your day.
Your better mornings start here.
WAFF 48, weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7 a.m. Or stream anytime, anywhere. Just search WAFF 48 Plus wherever you watch.
In Braves country, baseball is more than a game. It's a rally cry, a statement, an empire built on big swings, nasty sliders, moments you can feel in your chest. In Braves country, one swing can change the night.
Ambushes the first pitch.
Shutdown innings can steal momentum.
Takes the outside corner.
In Braves country, every game matters. Every series is a test for October. And the best place to watch is right here.
from classroom safety and zoning law violations to the rising costs of school supplies and new technologies affecting your child's education.
48 News is on your side with the issues that matter most this school year. 48 News.
On your side.
At Siniard Law, we believe those wrongly injured deserve compassion. We are honored to help the people of North Alabama get the compensation they deserve. We take pride in our results, and we pursue every option to ensure the best outcome for our clients.
Siniard Law means you will have people on your side and who will do whatever they can for getting you what you need to continue your life in a comfortable manner.
Siniard Law, nationally recognized, locally trusted.
Welcome back to the Siniard Law Show. If you would like to sign up for Siniard Law's newsletter, which provides free monthly legal tips, just scan the QR code or sign up at siniardlaw.com. Now let's get back to our topic tonight and your questions on juvenile law. Our next question comes from DeAndre. He writes, I don't have custody of my son, but according to his teachers, he is always skipping class or not even coming to class. I just found out that he has to go to a hearing with a juvenile court judge. I'm mad with his mom for not making sure he's at school, and now we have to go to court. What is going to happen at this court date? The paper I got says it's a, quote, child in need of supervision petition.
Kimberly, what is that? Because I've actually never even heard that phrase.
So a child in need of supervision petition is what we call for short chins. Mm-hmm. This is a case where some issue has come up with relation to the child's behavior or conduct. It happens with runaways a lot, or children who just display really concerning behaviors, maybe at school. And in this case, it sounds like a potential truancy issue. So the first thing this parent needs to know is, as a non-custodial parent, he's a necessary part of the hearing, because the court will be making a determination about, one, whether there's actually a truancy issue, what's driving that issue, and then how to handle it going forward. So if this father goes to court and the court first level of business will be to establish that all the necessary parties are present. The next thing will be to evaluate whether or not there's really a truancy issue, and there will be evidence presented. And if there's a determination that there's a truancy problem, then the next thing the court's going to do is determine whether that problem is driven by the child or maybe by the guardian or other parent. Mm-hmm. If it is driven by the parent and not the child, then this is not a child in need of supervision situation. This is something else. And maybe there's an issue of dependency here if the custodial parent is not actually undertaking their duty to parent. So once that's established, and let's assume there is a truancy issue driven by the child, then the court will look at what options need to be exercised in order to address the behavior. And that could be anything from things happening in the home to a removal from the home, depending on the severity of the situation.
What like consequences? Like, let's say this child's like 16 or 17. What can like a court system do to this teenage child? And I'm just assuming the age, but to reprimand him or sanction him. Is there anything they can do when it's a child?
Sure. I've seen everything from the child has a reporting obligation. They've got to check in with someone in the juvenile system, and there are rules and barriers and parameters put in place for expected behavior. There are going to be regular check-ins to make sure that you're attending school. Everything from that to removal from the home and placement in a detention center. And I think that's our most extreme situations where parents just absolutely cannot control the child. Mm-hmm. And there could also be penalties for parents. Mm-hmm. There may be fines for the parents, or the parents may be ordered to pay attorney's fees, depending on what role they've taken in not exercising parental authority to try to keep the child compliant with the requirements of attending school.
Golly.
It's complicated, right? Our last question tonight comes from Jennifer. She says, I was granted custody of my nephew 2 years ago because his mom, my sister, had drug problems. I got injured a few months ago and can't work. Now I cannot afford my rent, my car, and supporting my nephew is getting really hard financially. My sister has supposedly gotten clean, but I don't have any proof of that. If I wanted to see if my sister would take back custody, how does that legal process work?
Yeah, that's a tough one. What are your thoughts on that, Kimberly?
You're right. It is a tough situation, and it does happen, especially in times like today. With the cost of groceries and gas have increased, and what once was sustainable can no longer be sustainable. So the first thing that's going to need to happen is that there will have to be a court evaluation about a change in custody. And they'll need to file a petition, and either party really can file the petition to ask the court to modify the custody situation. And mom is going to have to be able to prove that she's stable and capable of caring for the child. And that's high bar standard, which we call McClendon. The McClendon standard is here again because permanency in custody has been established, and we're asking the court to modify that. And so that means we've got to demonstrate that it is in the best interest of the child, plus this change is for the child's greater good, and that good outweighs the harm that may come from a change in the child's situation at home.
Is it any easier, like when the person who has legal custody actually wants to give up custody, or is it still that high barrier?
I think, I can't speak for the judges who hear these cases, but I think for me as an attorney, when I hear that the person who has the child wants to relinquish custody of the child, and as a guardian ad litem especially, when I hear that, my concern is, well, how is this child going to thrive in an environment where the person who's caring for them really doesn't want to be caring for them? And so for me, that does cause some pause for me as a guardian ad litem. The other thing that they can do, though, is mom is still an option for financial support. And so as a guardian ad litem, one of the things I'm responsible for doing is identifying the parents or people who are responsible for providing that financial support and getting the necessary documentation to make sure that they are ordered to pay whatever support is necessary to meet the child's financial needs. That support belongs to the child and should be sought after. As guardian ad litem, we have an obligation to go seek that support for the child.
And so you're saying, like, they could get child support
in
this situation. You think of child support, you think of the parents are divorced, but if a child's been given custody to a relative, the parent of that child can be forced to pay child support, is what you're saying.
That's correct, because support follows the child. In the same way that a parent can be ordered to pay child support to the state of Alabama and to the Department of Human Resources to cover the costs that the state has covered for the child in a case, child support can be ordered to cover the needs of the child no matter where they are.
And that would keep the stability like what you're talking about, because that's the home where they are now, and just because that lady is having a hard time affording it.
That's right, because it just sounds like it's a matter of circumstance, not so much that they don't care about the child or don't want to be a stable place for the child. It just sounds like affordability is a question.
Gotcha.
Fascinating. Thank you so much, Kimberly Rucker and Bart Siniard, of course, from Siniard Law, for answering our legal questions. And we look forward to hearing from you, our viewers, with your questions about any legal topic, everything from wrongful death to car accidents, nursing home cases, juvenile law. You can email us at questions@siniardlaw.com or call our voicemail line at 844-7000-LAW. Join us next Sunday night after the late news. Good night.
The preceding was a paid presentation by Siniard Law Injury Attorneys, paid for by Siniard Law Injury Attorneys.